If you've ever opened TikTok just to check one notification and suddenly it's been 45 minutes, this episode is for you. We're scrolling faster than ever, our attention spans are shrinking, and somehow ads still manage to follow us everywhere. So, what's actually happening in the advertising space right now? Are we creating for people or just for the algorithm? And why does chaos marketing and meme culture work so well on us? So today's conversation is all about unpacking how advertising is evolving and what that means for us as consumers, creators, and future advertisers. I'm Victor, the moderator and host for today, and I'm joined by an amazing panel. And here we have Professor Wang, Dean of School Communication, Mr. Surin and Ms. Nadira, our beloved lecturers, and of course Hong Tao, our event manager. So welcome to the podcast, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. So of course, we have to address the main thing, which is our final year showcase this year with the theme of COLLAB. So obviously, I would like to know, and I'm sure the audience would love to know, what does COLLAB personally mean to you guys?
COLLAB is actually a very wonderful themes. I love very much. I even promote the themes to various of audience around me, from top management to my family. Why we have this kind of a topic? Because I think young generations lack a sense of a collaboration. And also we wish to use this kind of opportunity to emphasize the value of collaborating with the members. And definitely COLLAB with the theme of lab is also give a sense of experiment, adventures. Uncertainty sometimes is wonderful. And we also mentioned about anxiety may come from uncertainties. So we provide a kind of a venue of a laboratory setting. You can experiment whatever you like, but eventually position yourself in a team. That is actually important for all of us.
Okay, so how about Mr. Surin, of course?
So COLLAB is a like Prof. Wang said, it's a great idea that we came out this time. It's basically ideas colliding in a good way, and we have two people arguing and sharing ideas and building creative ideas together. And it can be a chaos, but finally something brilliant may come up from it.
Maybe a key takeaway from both Prof and Mrs. Surin is that I feel like collaboration, especially in ideas, right? Ideas rarely come from one person. It's a collaboration from many stakeholders, many people. You got copywriters, strategists, planners, and even clients solving the same problem together. So I think COLLAB, I think that justifies the collaboration meaning behind it.
Right, great. All right, so without further ado, let's get started on the topics. I've prepared a few topics for us to talk about today. So for the first question that I'd like to propose to you guys is that if you had to describe the current advertising landscape in one word, just one word, what would that word be and why?
All right, yeah, one word, right? So I think advertising will be the speed of advertising nowadays. So to justify, it's like those days we take the trends move months, years. Now it's every minute, every day trends changes. So we have to adapt to the speed of these changes nowadays.
Okay, speed. All right.
I quickly come up with one word, certainty. Maybe you have to know there's one documentary entitled CO.LLAB, which have one very famous statement that advertising in nowadays setting provides certainty, whereby many years ago, advertising always addressed the uncertainty because when audience is shifting, when audience thought is different, so you actually have to guess and also understand target audience. But right now with the algorithm, with a lot of technical solutions, advertising try to achieve more certainties. It's kind of scary, but I wish students to understand that it means that advertising have shifted to another setting that aim to have a more certainty. And this certainty maybe is a kind of outcome driven or kind of effect driven, but anyhow, this certainty also give a sense of value of doing advertisement for different stakeholders. And definitely they also provide students a new perspective to look at the new settings of advertising word.
All right, okay.
Okay, maybe mine's a bit controversial, but it's driven by the conversations that I have with my industrial relationship with my friends or my ex-directors. The current word that I would say in a nutshell is noisy. Noise. It may not be negative. Every time when we have a discussion amongst our peers or whether in classroom settings as well, we always want to try to break through that clutter of noise. So that's the current trends that what we observe, and that also at the same time makes all of us here more resilient on trying to select our information in a more reliable or authentic. The authenticity is more much better. So I think noise, yeah.
Okay. Hong Kong?
I actually agree with Ms. Najira. Actually, she mentioned the word that I want to say, which is authenticity. So I agree with the environment being really, really noisy. As technological advancements appear, you have more videos that are very advanced, like 4K quality or 8K quality even. But I think what stands out is authenticity. Like recently I saw an influencer that advertises about Insta360, the camera that goes all degrees.
Yeah.
But he uses the storytelling through Chinese New Year. So he shows his everyday life through that. Yeah, it's in our Chinese community is very, very viral. And I believe that's how you promote a product, through the stories that you can relate to.
I see. All right. Actually, I was going to follow up with, because noise, right? We did talk about noise. So how do we stand out in such a big, so it's oversaturated. So Hong Tao said just now, authenticity. Do you guys agree with that, or do you have anything to add on?
I think at any time we have to respect authenticity, and also we have to understand the value of, uphold the value of authenticity. So this is also echoes of the initial purpose of setting the industry. And definitely we are talking to human, we are talking to people, we address to human demands, and we also understand human demands. So definitely this echoes our heart. And I definitely agree with these points.
Yes. All right. So moving on, actually, we did talk about, since it's oversaturated, and I believe nowadays people's attention span is getting shorter and shorter. And actually, according to the American Psychological Association, in 2012, they did a study, and people's attention span was around 75 seconds. But over these past 5 to 6 years, it's shortened to a median of 40 seconds. So it's really increasing. And at this point, when we are creating ads, are we still telling stories, or are we just fighting for the attention?
A couple of days ago, I started to write an article, and I try to focus on my paper, and my mind trained me to think of something that is appealing. So I take my phone and start to score some of the music and take a lot of time to find the most suitable music. And I found, okay, 5 minutes count. I think it's not happened to younger generation, it happened to even myself, that make to think what happened to us. Is this thing that the societal efforts trained us to become like this? What is actually expected outcome of train our brain to have a shorter concentration span? What is the benefits of doing so? So that also leads questions to all the students or young generations. If you are in this environment, do you demonstrate resistance? As Ms. Nara mentioned the word, do you have any resistance toward this kind of a practice? Do you have any reason to give yourself a reason to resist such kind of a practice? Maybe because see the benefits that drive you to think further, I should maybe put my phone aside. I should do something that concentrating. It takes time to train our brain to have a longer concentration span. But once you practice this more, you will have more benefits.
Yeah, just to continue, like earlier we said about noise, right? So there's a lot of noise on all these platforms and all that. There's so many things being uploaded. So what we need is to grab their attention. So how to grab their attention is how attractive is your content. And I always say that attention is the door to go in, but what will make them to stay in the room longer, right? So that will be the story or the content quality that is produced in relation with individuals. As nowadays we have a lot of generation and it's becoming smaller and smaller. So very focused nowadays, the content are very focused to certain generation, certain cultural background and language, where they are from and all those things. So I think this is where the difference between attention and how to grab their attention.
I think, just to debunk on what Mr. Surin said, I think attention is, again, like what you said on the research, attention span, attention is just not enough now. I think what we really need to emphasize, especially for advertising practitioners, is always insights. So as long as you have the right insights, you don't even need to have attractive things. People relate. So that is the relationship of how people separate noises from things that, how come I can resonate with that message? How come I can resonate with that storytelling? And also, it's quite funny how I was also watching a podcast between a neurosurgeon, and this neurosurgeon from Indonesia mentioned that he has a lot of patients that come to him and said that a lot of people are more depressed because they're searching on dopamines, right? Dopamine. So the habit of people taking the phone scrolling is a very instant dopamine. But in actuality, humans are not made to have that fast dopamine, right? So people need to, like what Prof said just now, meditate and all that to actually reassure or restate your alignment when you are ready to actually then jump back again on the bandwagon of the social media or, the digital platform. So again, to highlight your question, attention alone is not enough. It's definitely insight, and that's something robots are still trying to figure out. They may outdo us with insights. As long as we provide our human insights to robots, they can mimic, but insights is the way to go to get attention.
I also agree with this. Actually, yeah, I think our ideas are quite similar. I think attention is cheap nowadays. Like everyone can get millions of views, even tens of millions of views. I even saw AI videos that can get viral over authentic stories, but I think that doesn't end well most of the time. Like I see pages, Instagram sites that doesn't really do well after that trend. But one thing that I saw is quite interesting is millennials who are carrying like Gen Alpha or Gen Z children, they actually went back to the trend where they watch animations or cartoons that are actually slower paced compared to like CoComelon, not to say certain brands, fast-paced children lullabies. So I think that is a good trend, and I think some Gen Alphas also went on a trend where they put a time lapse and they just focus on one activity, like singular-minded every time. Like they just look at one thing, maybe watching the sunset or reading a book, then they just put a time lapse there, and that can form a content as well. And that actually started a movement where I saw a lot of youngsters actually came out with this campaign that they just do one thing at a time, like laser focused. And I think that is a trend that we are picking back up again. So I think that is a positive direction.
Yeah, that's true. With like so many things online, somehow with the algorithm, like it's all catered to our desires, what we like. So it really is hard to just break that cycle of swiping, right? Yeah. And I would like to also move on to AI, of course, the elephant in the room. When it comes to advertising, AI is, some people might say it's a threat to our jobs in the future. I mean, as students, it's something we definitely have thought about before. So for AI, do you think that AI will homogenize creativity?
Creative lecturers.
Okay, I think it only will if people follow it blindly. Because as humans, we always have a purpose, and especially more for advertising practitioners, we always need to achieve our goals and objectives, right? So if we just have, for example, we have an objective. Your lecturers give you a scenario, a creative brief, and the objective is blah blah blah, and then you chunk it onto ChatGPT, and then you have a full-fledged objective sorted. And then you come back to the lecturers, and the lecturers feel like, something is really missing here. And what is that missing piece? Is the perspectives of humans. Did you actually bring it out and actually talk to your friends about it? Does your friends actually agree to the idea that AI actually generated? So that's why a lot of times students produces really well designed, and because like it or not, I have to somehow appreciate how AI development in creating design, no doubt about it. But they all seem very empty. It comes from a very dark, empty, lonely space. They all look the same, and eventually, who's going to watch this AI-generated content? They don't feel alive. So I don't think it's going to have a trend unless people follow blindly. So please don't follow blindly. Yeah.
I think maybe I can add on that AI is just a tool. But the end result is still come behind people who create or who put the prompt in and what they want to see from AI. So I think it's we also cannot just ignore AI because it's out there, and if we are fighting with it, then we might face problem in the later on. So we try to adapt and be more hybrid. But end of the day, personal acceptance of what they want to see, the end result, that matters, and that will personalize even though they use AI.
Actually, AI is something that we have to embrace. That's actually the typical gestures we have demonstrated. Every era have new technological solutions and also evolutions at the same time. So imagine many years ago, our generation start to use computer And we yet to know what will be the future. We even assume people may be replaced by the computer. But computer doesn't replace our job. Computer provides more jobs. Now we're just in the era that AI comes in. We find something new. We find something is changing this entire society settings. But eventually, AI will serve back to human. AI will definitely become something for enhancement purpose, for extension purpose, for efficiency purpose. So definitely we have to open our arms, but even in recent time, people start to question a lot of AI engineer experts. And recent interview I watched is actually one interview happened in the Meta, and there was one wonderful graduates from China and working for Meta, and she shared one of the point I really love it. And she said that actually our intention is not train everyone to become AI engineer. Our aim is to let you to see how make AI as a part of your life. So I think this is a very important for us to see how you put AI as a part of your life, as a part of your working partners. So that will be definitely another perspective look at a way to adapting AI solutions, maybe even other way to help you to even have a good relationship with AI. And this kind of relationship may give you a better way to prepare for the next societal change. And this is definitely happened in just one single clip.
I actually have a hot take on this.
Okay.
I think AI makes the advertising space, in terms of competition, easier. Because you can see who are the actual people that is using AI and who is used by AI. Because a lot of people without critical thinking would straight away copy and paste, right? But those who know how to use it will improvise and integrate AI into their ideas. So like what Ms. Nadira said, some ideas feel hollow because it doesn't have the human touch. So if you have the idea, but you use AI to help you out in certain ways, then I think that's the better way of using it. Because I personally think AI is a really good tool, like in my work. And I found that employers evolve as well together with AI. Like they know who is using it and who is used by it. So they'll ask, what's your prompt? How do you order the AI to do certain things? So once you say you don't know, then the interview cuts. So I think that's really important on how to properly prompt AI and not get used by it.
All right. So what would you guys say to people who are like afraid, or like maybe they are having overthinking that maybe AI is going to replace my job in the future as a creative, like what would you say to them?
No, I think it's a very subjective topic. We are looking at it. As Prof said earlier, we moved from traditional to computers coming in, then iPads, and things are moving very fast. So we need to accept it, but of course jobs will change, but new jobs also will be created out of it. We need to adapt to the situation. That's why everybody needs to be on their toes. They need to adapt, learn, and incorporate new technologies into their life or their work.
I think for creative especially, I think the root word here is iterative process. And iterative process is process from A to Z, right? So when AI comes, it just cuts that process of A to Z to get the output. But what I can tell the young creatives or creatives on the go or creatives who are struggling is that, like, as long as you're thinking, right, your thought processes are clear, I think your prompt becomes a bit more, it has more depth and it has more value rather than just, for example, the prompt A says, generate me in a blue background with beautiful birds and sky, as opposed to generate me in a form of something that comes with a human behavior rather than aesthetic. So I think the perception of human, maybe in the future as we speak now, maybe who's watching 20 years later, I don't know, but like it will change, right? And we have to integrate with AI. But creatives, as long as you're thinking, as long as you're doing, as long as you're replicating all the processes, you should not be scared, because that's how you innovate.
I think that's the same thing for me. I think creative will not be replaced. I think creative is one of the hardest jobs to be replaced, actually. Because I saw more and more content creators that came up with topics that can't really be mimicked by AI. I think that is irreplaceable. So I think creative is one of the toughest jobs, but more future-proof jobs, I would say.
I think nowadays consumers are also more intelligent. They can realize which
Yes.
what is fake and what is real, and they can which one they are related more.
Alright, so I mean, Dr. Wang did bring up something related to choice, right? And I would like to segue into algorithms actually. So algorithms, they take into consideration our past behavior and they recommend stuff based on that. But that also begs the question, like, are the algorithms showing us what we actually want, or are they just teaching us what to want?
I think current knowledge is actually algorithm is the one that been manipulated for the purpose that certain things are setting there for whatever purpose. So there's one key terms is all about manipulating. Yeah, as a consumer, we are being manipulated to watch certain content. As maybe stakeholder, we're using a system to manipulating content to reach the target audience. As a platform, they design different way of this kind of a, let's say, AI assistant to manipulating the viewers or maybe the way of sending message. I think in the entire world, we are very much more passive. I think this is a little bit critical from my point of view, but how to adapt into this kind of setting is everyone's job, even including lecturers. We have to inspire a young generation to think algorithm is something that we call it so fashionable nowadays. The only thing that it won't change is how to ensure humans still have the demands of communication. As the human, we still rely on communication very much. The way of communication could be different.
But I think in terms of the algorithm, I think it really depends on how you decide the algorithm to be. Because I recently watched a video from Gary Vee, which I really agree with him. He literally showed a bunch of audience in front of him, like he showed a For You page on Instagram. He said, now you think that your page content, it's messy, it's very manipulative. You search cute cat videos for 2 straight days. Then when third day you open your phone, it's all cat videos. So the For You page is actually designed for what content you are consuming. Yeah, so you really can decide what you want to watch, but most of the time the users don't do that. They just passively scroll through, oh, I like this, then suddenly scroll through. There's a movie, the upcoming movie called Hoppers, and I believe that's a gecko inside, right? That's really cute. There's a character there. And I think a lot of people's page are flooded with that because they just find it cute. Yeah, so it really depends on how you decide the content to be.
Basically, right, algorithm is learning from us, and then what they do is they amplify the whatever they have learned, and also it changes our preferences. So that's what it's a feedback loop that goes on and on and on. For example, nowadays we don't need even to search. Whatever you are talking, phone is detecting, and then next thing you see,
No privacy.
correct. Everything will come out. There are ads and all those things. Sometimes me and my wife also, sometimes we are trying to get away from certain videos, and we are saying, okay, we need to change our algorithm. So we need to next before it changes and it becomes normal back. Yeah.
Okay, maybe I have a different take on it. I feel like, okay, if I can put it safely in my context of words, I think algorithm is actually a capitalist toy.
Yes. Yeah.
Why so the toy is that because they want to understand consumer behaviors, they want to understand the content, right? I was just again talking to my best friend the other day, and she was like saying, hey, Nadira, did you watch this news, blah 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 blah. I'm like, no, mine seems empty because I have the habit of like not interested, and my IG seems a bit empty now. In a funny kind of way, I like it because it gives me a sense of space that I curate for myself. So if you ask me if algorithm is actually good or bad, I would say it's both. It's only functional if you have a purpose. Whether you want to have it curated or not, then it's good for you. But if you're a doom scroller, nothing's gonna ever work. So yeah.
So those who are watching, it's up to you how you want to make your algorithm look like. So I think now I would like to move on to a game session. So each of you get one paddle. I will be giving some hot takes or maybe a few controversial statements, and you guys can say whether you agree by showing the green, or if you disagree, showing the red. Or if you're undecided, you can do what Mr. Suri is doing right now. Yeah, start flipping it around. Okay, first hot take. Instagram and TikTok are overrated platforms for advertising.
Oh man.
You're in between.
Yeah, I'm in between.
Okay, All right, so seems like most people disagree. Okay, let's start with Mr. Suren. Why do you disagree?
I think both Instagram and TikTok, they have their own job to be done. You see TikTok for different reasons and Instagram for different reasons. Because I think TikTok is more on the short video and longer video even.
Yeah.
I even watch documentaries on TikTok sometimes, right? And Instagram is more on branding side, marketing side, shorter images, fast. Yeah, so I am actually more on TikTok rather than Instagram.
Okay.
TikTok and Instagram is just those platforms can reach designated region and countries. But there are also countries ban these platforms. How about them?
I see. All right. Tao?
Oh, I think social media is kind of like AI. It's a platform, it's a tool. So it really depends on how you use it.
Yeah.
So I don't think certain platforms are overrated. I could even say YouTube is overrated with all the YouTube shorts that Gen Alpha is consuming. But I think it really depends on the user itself. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, my take is a yes and no, because I feel like at the end of the day, in advertising, right, put aside all the social media, you still can sell services or products, right? It's just that it makes storytelling, or it makes aesthetic more meaningful to people, because they can see, seeing is believing.
Okay. All right. So the next statement: humor works better in advertisements than practicality.
Okay.
I think it really depends. As I've mentioned previously, the brand personas that you're portraying, like what is the brand? If Ferrari does a humor appeal, it doesn't really work, because the target audience, it's high profile consumers or people with higher spending power. So if they look at your brand, for example, Ferrari doing a 6-7 joke, like no one would buy it.
You disagree?
Yeah, so I disagree.
Yeah.
But if it's like Zeus coffee where everyone is consuming it, then I think it works that way with humor.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna echo with Hung Tao, because he echoed with mine so much just now. But just more so, it's that humor is temporary. Humor grabs your attention quickly, but it's temporary. It's like you can't remember humor for a long time, unless when someone falls down, there's a memory to it, and then stuff like that. But like, the problem here is that I think consumers know what is a good humor and what is a cheap humor.
I just remind one of the brands which has already sell very high-end cars in China. And this company never use humor at all, because the language the elite class speak very differently from others. So what they use is some language you couldn't even understand. How about the moonlight? What is that? The moonlight, something is very meaningful for them, but that's actually the language I want to highlight, that there's nothing humorous, but that car sells tremendously well in those classes. So I think this just example for you to think. I couldn't agree with that. Yeah.
So I will go against everyone. Actually, I agree to humor. I guess I reserve humor, so it's also individual preferences. So there's also something called subtle humor, where it's very deep humor. It's not so obvious, not jumping and chaotic. It's just inside you're just having a small laugh. Like,
If you get it, you get it.
Like he said about Ferrari. So nowadays Ferrari and they say Lamborghini, they are racing each other and they show some small amount of humor that and like now we have F1, Formula 1 is running, so they have the subtle memes and that they joke around that only that person will know, but not everybody.
Okay, cool. So our next statement: emotional manipulation is the foundation of advertising.
Maybe because I've been in the industry for so long, right? This is coming from a personal, what do you call that word? Experience, I would say, anecdotal experience, right? So, because we live in a society where we want businesses to flourish, so earlier research has proven that when you play with someone's emotions, you get their attention, and that then sparks to desires, and that's what business is all about. So I kind of feel that at a certain stake, emotions are a bit of a manipulation in terms of advertising. Prof Wang may have a deeper one.
I think that definitely have echo this round.
Yay!
I like can't handle strategies to answer questions. But I completely agree with this point, because I think emotions come from human mind. And also once we have speaking to human emotions, definitely would be wonderful foundations for us to convey the message. Yeah, very simple.
So So I think me and Hang Tao, we said no.
disagree, right?
So let's start the So it's also depends, right? But advertising is all about emotional connection. But I would say it's not manipulating their emotion.
Yeah, I think manipulation is a strong word. I wouldn't use manipulate. I would say emotional connection or something. Because manipulate is like you're making him sad in the wrong way, kind of. So like I think emotional influence is there, but it needs to be truly relatable to that person in order to change or influence their emotions. Yeah, so I think manipulation is a bit of a strong word for me.
Okay.
So that's why I put disagree. Yeah.
All right, I see. Okay, so we can talk about the food. So if you guys could name one food to describe this final year showcase, what food would it be?
I want to say hot pot. Want to change. Want to change. I want to do chap fan.
Okay.
Chap fan.
Chap fan.
Okay, why?
So when you collect all your food, what you want to eat, and the combination of all this set of food that you have chosen, and finally when you eat and it tastes good, you are satisfied. It shows the work COLLAB, all working together to produce a delicious food.
Hey, good answer.
I quickly come up with one food in China. It's called 冰糖葫芦, but it's actually like a fruit. You put in the stick like this with a coating with sugar, and the sugar coating is a little bit tough. When you bite it, you will have the juice and tender inside. So it's a kind of a combination.
Imagine.
Yeah, as advertising students, we have to be strong. It's like a sweet coating. It's sweet coating with a very hard shells. But when you bite it, you know how wonderful it is. Yeah.
That's a good one. That is wow. yeah. Done. Like whatever answer is not going to beat that. I'm trying my best. I think mine will be gado-gado. To represent Tim Nusantara. Gado-gado is actually a Malaysian version of rojak lah, but gado-gado is like more Indonesian. So you have all those different fritters. It all starts looking quite messy. You don't know where to start, and that's how creative brief are all about. Like you don't know how to decipher, but slowly when the peanut sauce comes in and you start to mix around and it's hot with the cucumber and crunch. Yeah, you have to put a picture here. And I feel that represents COLLAB, represents advertising, it presents our ADT students, come from all walks of life, walks of taste, walks of opinions, but when combined, it's one delicious hearty meal.
I was gonna say rojak actually.
Rojak, okay.
Yeah. I think each item it tastes good on its own. But I think together it tastes way more better.
Yeah. Without the sauce, it won't have the harmonious taste, right?
Yeah.
That special sauce. Safe to say all of us are hungry now.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we can wrap up with one last question, something for our for us. For FYP, is there any word of advice you guys would like to give to any FYP students watching, or maybe our juniors? Yeah.
Be bold.
Be bold. Okay.
Think outside the box, and also be insightful. On top of being creative.
I want to say something heavier, but I couldn't because this is probably my last time to officially involve with FYP of advertising program due to my other commitment. But I feel this spirit is here for many years, and spirit will be the thing that representing the programs. How it grows, and the spirit to represent how colleagues work together, and spirit representing how we trust the relationship built between student and lecturers, and how spirits that drive the university to appreciating School of Communications showcase in the annual form, and spirit also representing our connections with the industry that allow students to speak earlier to the industry by showcasing the work, and the spirit is all about how the parents lend their support to you in the past 3 years. I think that's the keywords I would like to highlight.
You got to be having a positive mindset, because advertising industry it's not an easy job. Like a lot of people say, there's a lot of feedbacks, constructive feedbacks, likes, dislikes, a lot of communication layers of different people. So you got to be level-headed, you got to be positive, you got to take in things with very stably. And second of all, I think the most important thing, I think all your seniors will probably nod their head thank you, is that to really understand human behavior, because advertising is all about that. And if you don't understand the human behavior, then your stories will never get to them. I think that's, yeah.
I think the most important thing is to be curious and stay curious. Yeah, I think that's the most important quality when it comes to advertising because it's so spontaneous. Like every trend is evolving literally every day. So just stay curious and you can get a lot of it.
Very good.
Very good.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much to our amazing panel for joining us today. And I guess that's a wrap for today's episode. And thank you for sharing your insights and proving that advertising isn't just about, products, but it's also about a lot of other things around it, like culture, identity, and how we live online. So remember, guys, even if you think you're scrolling for fun, you're also part of the biggest ad campaign, which is yourself. So keep questioning, keep laughing, and keep thinking about why we like what we like. Until next time, we'll see you again. Bye.
Bye.